When we get outside, everything around us is chaos. Men have swords drawn as metal clangs ring across the yard. Others are in battles with their powers, trying to take out their opponents, while magic flies everywhere. Turning around to look at Damien, he has a blank expression on his perfectly chiseled face as his eyes scan the entire area. He pushes me down, taking one arm and pulling me to his chest as a blade slices the air a few inches from my face. With his free hand, he grabs the man by the throat, squeezing so hard that his head pops off like a top on a bottle when you put too much force on it. His body crumples to the ground before bursting into ashes, while the wind carries them off. Leaning down to my ear, he said, "You may want to cover your ears for this one." Damien stands back up in a flash. Zero, taking my hands and clamping them over my ears. He lets out a roar so fierce that even with my ears covered, it hurts. Every man stops dropping to their knees, shaking at the force of his roar. My eyes scan the place for Justin, but cannot find him in the mass of bodies down on their knees, covering their ears as they shake harder the longer he goes. Finally, he stops as the men fall to their sides, still shivering. Looking up at him, his face smiles a little. Damn, that felt so good. There has not been a need to do that in a very long time. Finally, my eyes land on Justin as I try to squirm out of his grasp. He tightens his grip a little while I plead with him, "Please let me go. I need to check on Justin." His eyes scan the area as my baby slowly gets off the ground. He lets me go as my feet run as fast as they can toward him. His eyes lock onto mine as a smile crosses his face. Men are slowly getting the ringing out of their ears as some sit back up while others don't move for a moment. I am only a short distance from him when a body slams into me out of nowhere, wrapping arms around my waist and stopping my running abruptly. Being pulled against a hard, sweaty chest, Thomas stops in his tracks, facing Justin. "Zero, it has been a while." Justin Thomas's voice comes out from behind me. "Me, how nice of you to invade my home like this." Damien moves so fast with a whoosh of wind, but Thomas's grip on me tightens, and my breath is hard to come by as I gasp. "Ew." Damien takes a look at me, backing up away from us, holding his hands up. "You are going to strangle her if you don't let up some," seeing my face starting to pale. "Zero." He flicks his eyes down at me before returning to the two men standing about 10 feet from us. His grip loosens a smidge, but enough that air floods back into my lungs with a huge gulp. Panting, trying to get my lungs full of air again, he starts talking. "Looks like this is not going to be an easy battle. 1. Your men have taken most of my warriors down, but now I have my hands on the bargaining chip." He dips his head, kissing my pulse point, making me tense. "What do you say, Justin? All I have to do is a small bite, and she will be mine." "Zero." Justin growls. "You would not survive the ordeal, and you know it. By the time you bit her, my hands would be around your throat, so we both know It takes a little longer than a second to administer what is needed to change her. 0. Thomas chuckles, but all I have to do is squeeze with one hard snap, where her life would no longer be around. Justin looks at him, crossing his arms. You have been after her for years. There is no way that your hands would end her life now. There is too much at stake that your family has been after inside that body you are holding. She is the last of the line left, so if you destroy her, you will lose everything. Thomas stands back up. There are ways to extract power from a body that is not quite dead. Ugh. Damien points his finger at him as sparks surround it. There is no way we would allow you to attempt that. By the time the thought crossed your mind, we would strike you down. 0. Thomas is silent for a few seconds before his head slowly nods. You are right. There is only one other way to take care of this problem. Damien cuts in very quickly. Just to let you know, your mother will not be around to save anything you do from this point on. She burst into my room right after Sky got that forsaken thing you forced me to wear all these years. She tried to attack Sky, so she was taken out, as were her guards. Your father is no longer around, since you killed him years ago to take over the throne. It is only you, by yourself. Cyril. I feel him stiffen, since he has me crushed against his chest. Vibrations run through him as his body starts shaking, holding me closer to him. Fine. We will settle this the old-fashioned way. Damien holds his hand up. Don't put that into effect unless you are willing to lose everything you have now. The conclusion comes from that challenge to the loser. They lose their kingdom along with their life by the opponent's hand. Since I will be here to witness this, I will set the rules in place. 0. Thomas looks down at me before returning to Justin, narrowing his eyes. That is the only way for us to get what we want. We both want Sky to be ours, ruling the kingdom with us. I may want more than that, but in the end, it is what both of us are after. The mere human with your power bottled up here, waiting to be controlled by the one who changes her flicking over to Damien. Justin takes a step forward. I would never control her. She is a person who has a mind of her own. What she did with that power would be her choice by my side. I may suggest certain things, but not make her into a damn puppet. Like you want to controlling her until her mind is nothing but a void from where you have abused it so much. All she will turn into is a zombie doing your bidding. The grin that crosses his face tells me enough that fear comes down my spine about doing anything he says without thinking about it. Pulling against his hold again, he still has his death grip on me. His cold eyes look down at me once again, flicking back up. I call for royal combat. We will settle this with the ways our old ancestors set in place when there was a dispute over a mate that both men wanted. 0. Justin lets out a long breath before nodding his head. I accept your challenge. We will fight until the death for Sky's hand and the other's kingdom until one of us is taken by death. 0. Damien steps forward now. We need to set rules for this duel. Some magic will not be allowed during it. If used, the one who defied the rules will forfeit their win over to the other person. May we go to your meeting room to discuss my terms and the rules. 0. Thomas has an evil grin as he nods. Yes, we need to get this done, because I want the combat to begin at dawn. We will be locked in this battle for the next 3 days, until one of us comes out on top, while the other lies dead at their feet. Gasping, my eyes fill with tears. Justin, please don't. I can't lose you over this. 0. Damien looks at me with sad eyes. Sorry, Sky. The challenge was made with all these witnesses, and Justin accepted. It is set in stone now. Tears flow down my face, knowing that Justin put his life on the line for me. What if he can't win? I will be stuck with Thomas for the rest of my life. There must be a way to bend the rules somehow, to help tilt the scales in his favor. Thomas starts to move forward, making me move with him as he does not let me go. Walking through the front doors, we head to the meeting room to set everything up. Rules for combat. When we walk into the room, Thomas sits at the head of the table, pulling me down into his lap. Damien sits on his right, and Justin takes the seat on the left. Charles, Danny, Noah, Chance, and other high-ranking generals come in. Damien spears Thomas with a stern look. 0. First thing is first. Neither of you has claimed Sky, so please release your iron grip on her. She needs the time to do what she wants without being forced into anything. He interlocks his fingers on the table. 0. Thomas holds his gaze for a while before finally letting go of the death grip on me. Scrambling out of his lap, my arms wrap around Justin's neck as my head buries into his chest. He pulls me to him, hugging me tightly and kissing my forehead as my body melts into his lap. Finally, you are safe. I have been so worried about you since we found out what happened. To have you back in my arms now is a major relief. Thomas clicks his tongue. All that lovey-dove stuff makes me sick to my stomach. You are a real softie now, aren't you, Justin? 0. He lets out a slight growl. That is what a true mate bond is like. I will allow my mate the freedom to choose what she wants and support her ideas or choices that she might ask or suggest, not tying strings to her hands, making the move only when you decide it is the right time for her to do so. She had moved around my home freely when she wanted to, with only a bodyguard watching out for her well-being. Thomas throws his head back, the one who allowed me to get my hands on her. You call that watchdog? Keeping an eye out for her well-being. 0. Chance slams his hands down on the table. I am not a creep who will follow her into the ladies' room, holding her hand while she uses the toilet. He holds up one finger. First, I am a gentleman who would not invade a lady's private time. He holds up a second finger. Secondly, that is not my job to watch, as she does something that she has done since she was a small child, holding up a third finger. My employer would not want me seeing what is deemed for his eyes only. Zutra. I giggle at that statement, looking over at him. Thank you, Chance. I am happy you have boundaries you would not cross unless necessary. That shows me how much you are a valued employee to me, along with Justin. 0. Thomas clears his throat while shooting me a very nasty look. I would be the same way, but to ensure your safety guards would be standing inside the door, running everyone else out before you entered. They would be there making sure that a plan like I devised could not be executed. Enough, Damien roars. We are not here to see whose ego or protection detail would be better than the others. The meeting will discuss the rules and regulations for this combat. Now, Thomas, I will begin with what you are allowed to use, followed by what you are forbidden to use during this battle. 0. Thomas leans back in his chair, locking his fingers behind his head. Go ahead. Let's see what laws you lay down on me, with a smirk on his face. Damien rolls his eyes at the arrogant man. First, you can't use your freezing spell. That gives you too much advantage when going in for the kill. Anything that can take the other's life will not be allowed for either of you. Not until the opponent is lying on the ground, ready for the final blow. Cuts power, blows burn marks that charred the skin. Anything along that line will be allowed. 0. He turns to Justin next. Same for you. I know you can kill with a thought. That is not allowed to be used at all in this battle. When they are assigned for the last blow, you can do it any way you want. I will watch every move you make during this. So if I see something being abused, or what we have set the standards for this battle being used beyond the agreement, it will be my final call on what happens to the other one. Trust me, if this bastard had not called royal combat, we would not be sitting here going over this crap. Justin growls out. Thomas goes to say something, but Damien holds his hand up quickly. Now, looking at both of them. So name your battles for the next 3 days. Each of you can pick 3 that you want to engage in. So that will be at least 2 a day. On the last day, it can be decided by a tiebreaker of my choosing if the other competitor has not been beaten beforehand. He looks at Thomas first. Name your first battle. Tapping his finger on his chin, he looks at me with a grin. I call for jousting. Each of us has to engage until the other is unseated from his mount. Justin nods before Damien looks at him, letting him know it is his turn to choose. I accept. The second will be an endurance course built at my castle. My training men use it, but it is not for the faint of heart. We will run it best, 3 out of 5. You will be given a map to study so you will know the layout, since I know it by heart, and built it for our army to use. 0. Chance gives a low whistle from down the table, while others smirk at the challenge. Thomas's eyes glint. Fine. I call for a maze run. My men use one here, but it is not easy since it was designed for my army to train with. We will deactivate all the items that can kill you, but those that hurt you will stay active. I might add that if one of them does touch you, it can bring you down to your knees within a second. Justin narrows his eyes. I will need a map of what we will be running along with what is hidden and what will be used. I am giving you one, so it is only fair that I need one of your structures. 0. Thomas nods. Done. 0. Justin thinks for a minute as my head rests against his chest, listening to his steady heartbeat. I call for a battle with our swords in the courtyard. We can use mine or yours, but if you want more room, mine will be better, since it is bigger. Fine by me. He waves his hand briefly. My last challenge will be the battle of wits. Each of our minds will be invaded by Damien, setting up a scene that he sees fit for us to beat. Whoever completes the challenge first, or under a certain time limit, wins that round, as Thomas taps his finger on the table. Damien smirked at that statement, while Justin smiled. Fine. My last one will be a battle with our powers on the battlefield, if it is needed. That will be the final one we do unless a tiebreaker is needed. 0. Damien smiles. I agree to all of those. Let's get a good night's sleep at Justin's castle, since he has the jousting field. Thomas, you can bring your chosen steed for the first round. When that is finished, the endurance course will be held that afternoon at his place. We will travel back here for the next day's battles. Each of you will set up rooms for everyone attending these combats. There will be no limit to how many want to attend to watch their rulers compete. The third day will be on the battlefield between both castles, where each can sleep in their own home. This way, each person can get a good night's sleep for the following day, since it will be the most brutal. Everyone stands, while his men go to get what has been advised for the hour trip to the other place. Laying my hand on Justin's chest, he leans down, giving me a long, passionate kiss. 0. Your room is waiting for you at the castle. I am so glad that you are safe in my arms now. I can promise you that this will end all your suffering. We are both well equipped to fight each other. With Damien watching for any signs of cheating, it will be an even match for us, wrapping his arms around my waist. I hope for the best, that you will come out on top with all these battles. There is no way that I will be chained to him for life. If he wins, I will take my own life, where he won't use my powers or have me by his side. There is no way that I will become a zombie for him, pressing my face in his chest. 0. His finger comes under my chin, raising it. Don't say anything like that again, Sky. It is a fair battle for your hand in marriage. I can promise you that all these things we named off will not be hard for either of us. For me, it is 3 days of arduous training that I will do every day. With you cheering for me, that will be the extra push I need to defeat him. 0. My eyes meet his, and I can tell he is telling the truth. Letting out a puff of breath in my cheeks, he interlocks our fingers as Thomas' men come back down with their overnight bags so we can head back home. Hoping for the best to come out of this, I quickly pray that my wish will be granted. Justin picks me up in his arms as we all fade back to what I hope will be my long home ruling with him by my side. The next morning, my stiff body wakes up slowly as a warm arm is wrapped around me, holding it against a rock-hard, hot chest that slowly rises and falls with quiet breaths. Looking out the window, it is still dark, meaning the sun has not risen to announce the day. Laying there with floods of things going through my head with what will come over the next few days makes me sad. What if something happens where Thomas wins? I can't even imagine living with him after what he showed me down in that dungeon. What reason were all those people down there because they did not do something that he liked? We would explain to them the correct way we want things done and how to do it correctly. After briefly seeing how he was with me, I can envision how cruel he could be. My first order when Justin wins will be to take everyone out of that place and allow them back up to their comfortable rooms, letting each person eat for a week until their strength returns. I told Justin last night that if Thomas loses, my parents need to be reinstated back in that kingdom, taking over their rule until one of our sons is granted control after my parents are too old for that position. He was all for it, while reassuring me repeatedly that he would be fine during this. Letting out a small sob, my body shakes at what the next 3 days will bring. Hey, Justin's voice comes over my back as his arm tightens on me. What is the matter, love? Oh, turning over to look at him, I said, I am scared. What if he cut me off with a long kiss, calming me down? Take a breath, love. I need you not to think about the outcome. I need your complete support and clear mind. All this will fuel my determination to win this quickly. Hopefully, I will take all 4 battles so we don't have to go into any more scattering kisses down my back. Justin, please change me now. I want it to be you. My heart can't live without you. Tears flow down my cheeks. 0. His eyes filled with sadness. I am not allowed to do that, not yet. We are battling for your hand, love. So you must stay human until one of us wins. If I change you, that will end my life, because that is part of why he wants you. Your powers are what he is after. Bearing my face in his bare chest, he holds me close to him. I can't do it. If you lose, there is no way I can go through with that. He had people down in the cells because they did something that upset him. They would be tortured, Justin. Their entire families were down there, not the ones who made a mistake. That poor 4-year-old boy was down in that stitch, dirty from head to toe. His dad forgot to clean a spot off the carpet where the wine had been split. I would never condemn someone to that life where eventually they will die. 0. He leans back smiling. You won't have to. Trust me, love. This is not anything new for me to go through. I have trained with the best for centuries. This will be a walk in the park. Are we matched in most of these? Probably. But I have some powers where he does not. That is what I am worried about Justin. He is conniving and will cheat. There will be some way to either poke you wrong or hit you where Damien won't see. I don't trust him kissing the corner of his mouth. He chuckles. There will be times he will try, but Damien is not stupid. He has an excellent trained eye, but can feel when we use magic. Thomas may not know about that, but he won't if he sends a jolt through my body, thinking he can get away with it. Now, come on, go back to sleep before that damn sun comes up, announcing these games are about to begin. We settle back down, slipping into sleep for the remainder of the night until the sun peeks into the room. A knock comes on the door, and Chance's voice comes through before the door creaks open. Rise and shine, sleepy heads. Breakfast is in 10 minutes before we have to head out. I stopped by your room first, Justin. When you did not answer, I poked my head inside. I saw where the bed was not disturbed. That told me you were here with her. Pulling the covers over my bright red face, both men chuckle at me. We were up talking late, and after she has been missing for a day, I did not want to leave her side with Thomas in the place. Chance rolls his eyes, scoffing. We had 6 men at the bottom of the steps. I would have liked to see him try to get up here. Justin turns his body, setting his feet on the floor. Don't underestimate him. Chance. He could turn into a bug crawling under your feet if he wanted to. He shuffles out of bed and returns to his room to put on clothes for the first battle he must do this morning. The other will be in the afternoon, giving them time to have lunch and relax briefly. After he leaves, I slowly get up to take care of my business before putting on clothes. Walking to the door, Chance opens it before I can touch it. Justin stands there, ready to escort me to the dining room where Damien stands in the doorway, waiting for them to arrive. 0. He points to Justin's arm. Please extend your arm out for me. The one you will not use the most. I need the less dominant one, please. 0. Justin gives me a side look and extends his left arm. Damien slaps a bracelet on it that is the same as the one he wore in the room. As Thomas comes in, he slaps one on him. This ensures no magic will be used for the next 2 days. They will come off at the battlefield. That way, if you run into each other during the downtime, no unauthorized fighting or power throwing can be done. 0. Thomas scoffs. Really? We have to be chained down like dogs with these? Damien looks at him from his full height. I endured one of these for how many centuries? I think 2 days of being unable to use your power can be tolerated. 0. Justin gives a slight nod, while Thomas has a scowl on his face. I guess he was not expecting to be drained of his power. Entering the dining area, we all go to the eating places set up for each person. After that, everyone is dismissed for the jousting event. All the workers who can attend want to see Justin win at this. Chance takes me to the royal box where my chair is to the right of the king's, on a step down from his. Justin's mother is to his left in a chair on the same level. Sometime later, 2 men come out in full armor, standing before us like shiny silver glints in the sun. One has a dark chocolate chest, while the other has blood red. It shows the colors of their kingdom. The red belongs to Justin's. The king stands up, raising his arms to quiet down the crowd. 0. Let the contest begin. There will be a battle until one of the riders is unseated from his mount. Both men bow to his words, turning to walk to each end. 0. Both mount their horses. Before each is handed a very long lance and shield done in 2 colors. Justin's is covered in blood, red, with black alternated down it. His solid black horse also wears a blanket that matches the same coloring with the red, being dominant along with black skulls with crossbones. Thomas has a gray horse done with dark chocolate with beige iron crosses. His shield is also done in alternating colors. The king stands back up, nodding to both of them to start. Ooh, the horse's hooves thunder down the soft dirt as both raise the lances, hitting the shield of the other, but neither falls off. When they reach the end, they are handed a new one, while workers check the used ones for cracks. Match after match, they start hitting harder, where Thomas slams one time into Justin's chest, but he barely moves. Justin almost makes Thomas come off in the next round. but he hangs on slightly. Throwing his lance down, Thomas shakes his arm for the next one. The new one is thrown out, signaling he is ready. Justin does the same, kicking his horse as it runs down the lane again. The horses are starting to tire because their pace is slowing. This time, Justin slams his lance into Thomas hard, propelling him off backward as he topples, rolling over the butt of his horse and falling to the ground face first. He slowly gets up, lifting the shield and glaring at Justin's back, while his horse skids to a halt, dismounting quickly. Damien sits beside me in a chair, his eyes sparkling in the light. Both come over, bowing at the box as Damien stands up. The winner of this challenge is Prince Justin. We will now adjourn for lunch with a 3-hour rest period. The next one will be at 2:30, where the endurance course sits. 0. The men nod toward each other while they get undressed in the tents. His smile is wide when Justin returns to where I am waiting for him. Taking my hand in his, we walk back towards the castle. You did well. That was very impressive. He nods, wincing. It has been a while since I have done that. But no one could ever beat me when Dad would hold festivals, letting us do that. Are you hurt? Running my hands over his chest. 0. Nothing that will not heal in an hour. After I get a glass with some blood. Got a few bruises, but nothing much. On the other hand, Thomas might be worse off. The last hit I gave him was the hardest I have ever hit anyone. He watches the horses being led back to the stables. He takes a shower before lying down for a short time resting. I requested his lunch be brought to his room while I joined up with Summer and Dawn, sitting with them instead of at the royal table. Have you seen your sister yet, not wanting to look into her eyes? Yes. I walked down there last night. She is torn up pretty badly. But the thing is, she does not regret anything she did to you. She was more worried about being caught. When her plan was not put into place as she wanted, she lays a hand on my arm. Is your sister insane or have a mental issue looking over at her? Oh, she laughs. No, she is just self-centered, and she thinks what she wants she should have. That is a part of her that I have hated for years. We eat all of our food and talk for over an hour about everything. As we get up to go outside for the next event, Thomas comes into the room holding his arm out for me this time. I think it is my time to escort you to this event, since you are the one we are doing this for. His eyebrows wiggle, looking at me. 0. Of course, who am I to turn down someone who may not be worthy of my hand? I saw his smile drop quickly. We will work on that damn mouth of yours very shortly. I am as worthy as Justin. You were promised to me first. Just because he is your mate, that means nothing to me. We walk down the path. 0. He favors his arm slightly. Did your jousting challenge hurt? 0. He growls lowly. I am fine. 0. We arrive at a massive course in the woods, and Damien steps forward. The next event is a course that Justin created for his army. The best 3 out of 5 will win this one. Runners, please get to your marks. 0. Thomas drops a quick kiss on my cheek before he walks off. Justin stares at me as my hand wipes it off, flicking it toward the ground. Looking up into the trees, I see a rope course that is barely visible in the tree lines. that stretches way down into the forest, with steps, swinging ropes. Single ropes stretch between trees, with only a single one above to hold on to, while the bottom one is small, single rope, substantial open areas, with a board on each side, with nothing between them. They must leap from one panel to the next, clearing the 10-foot gap between each board as they are angled toward the back of the forest. There are 2 different courses that they have to switch between for each run. Damien drops his hand as they both take off, scaling the giant oak with lightning speed. I see them blur through the course, disappearing into the thick woods before returning to the ground, jumping over 10-foot-tall walls or climbing under low decks. Thomas crosses the line first on his. They line up, switching sides after a quick water break. Justin wins that time. They run 2 more each, winning one with Thomas, winning the 4th. Lining up for the last one, they take off again, with Justin in the lead. Clapping my hands, hoping he would come in first. Thomas inches him out as he barely gets across the line before Justin does. Damien raises his hands. Go get your showers. Pack a bag so we can travel back to Thomas, home for the night, where supper will be served at his home. Everyone disperses as Thomas walks up to me with a grin. I think that would be a tie, sweetheart. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Oh, there is no need for you to pack for the night. You have all the clothes you need tomorrow at the palace. 0. Shivering at the thought of where my clothes are, my mind swims as he walks off. Justin comes up panting. 0. Are you okay? Laying my hands on his chest. 0. He shakes his head. Yeah, I am short of breath. 0. Narrowing my eyes as he walks in, I grab his glass from the stump. Smelling it, I noticed a faint, foul odor coming from it. Taking it back with me, I will ensure it did not have poison added to slow Justin down. Handing it to Damien, I quickly tell him what I think as he nods, taking the glass with him. We will see what tricks you are up to, and I will ensure it does not happen again. Going into the kitchen, I ask for a goblet to take with me, along with a massive jug of water. If he will try and be slick doing illegal things, I can play that game myself. When we returned to Thomas's place, I tried to find Damien, but he was still investigating the cup with a worker before we left. Justin seemed better as we drove to his place. The color was back on his face, and his breathing had appropriately returned. I asked him repeatedly if he thought what I did. He shrugged his shoulders, telling me he did feel tired, but would not put it past him to try and cheat. I asked a food taster to return with us on this trip, ensuring this did not happen again, because he would not admit it. Last night, I tried to go to my chambers, but Thomas refused to let me, saying that he was also entitled to the same pleasure since I slept with Justin the night before. He also said I had no choice since we were at his house. Waking up in the middle of the night, his back is turned towards me as I quietly try to slide out of bed. If you are trying to go to Justin's room, I would not suggest it, as his red eyes pierced mine in the blackness while his body rolled over. Sliding out of bed, slipping on my slippers. No, I need to use the bathroom. 0. 0. He snorts. I don't believe that for a minute. You are sneaky to where you would get out of here, slinking down to his room for the night. 0. I do not say a word while my feet take me to the bathroom, but I take care of what I need to do and shut the light off. I return, walk around the bed, gently slide under the covers, and turn my back to the man I can't stand. The bed shifts as an arm comes over my waist, pulling me towards his body. I stiffen as he kisses my neck, slowly, making my stomach churn where my supper last night could quickly come up. You know all I would have to do is bite right here to make you mine. His fangs prick my neck, making me suck in a breath. You can't, according to the rules. Whoever wins will be able to do that, trying to move my neck out of the way. 0. He chuckles. You took Damien's contraption off so you could do the same for me. It could be over tonight so that we could be wed tomorrow. So, flipping over, looking into his swirling, wild eyes. You were the one who called for this combat, not Justin. You should have admitted defeat when your army fell. You called for the event to extend your time, trying to win my hand. Seeing how you are trying to bribe me into doing something, giving you an advantage, that would be breaking the rules, right? 0. He snarls. All I have to do is change you right now, commanding you to wipe them out. You do realize that, correct? Or I would fight you with every bone in my body not to do that. When the person wins fair and square, I will spend my life with that person. I suggest you don't try to poison Justin again. I found out his glass was laced with a drug called lorazepam, but it was such a low dosage that it slowed him down on the course. It did not put him to sleep, backing away from him a little. He growls. I did not do that. We both were drinking out of the same pitcher. Earl, pointing my finger at him. I knew you would deny it, but I wanted to let you know that it was rubbed into his cup before the water was put in his glass. Damien was given the glass last night before we came here. He got a call where he told me about it. 0. He moves so fast, shoving me into the bed and pinning my body to the mattress. His eyes are bright red, and his fangs are poking out of his mouth. Don't accuse me of something like that woman. One bite is all it would take. Don't push me over that edge. Taking my hands and grabbing his arms, I am warning you, if you attempt to try it again, you will be deemed a cheater, losing your life. So, his fangs are on my neck as he takes in a huge whiff. You are scared. That fuels my monster where it wants you so much now that I don't know if he can be held back. A knock comes on the door as I let out a long breath. Sire, breakfast will be in 15 minutes. Damien is waiting for both of you in the dining room. Cyril, he grits his teeth. Tell him we will be there in a few minutes. He looks over at the sun in the curtains. You got lucky this time, Sky, but you won't be when we are like this. He crawls off me, heads into the closet, gets dressed, walking out the door. I am shaking at his demeanor, about how close I was to pushing him over the edge, where he would lose control. Slowly getting up, my ladies come in, getting me dressed for the day, as they take me to breakfast. Taking my seat beside him, we eat before heading out to the maze course they are running. It is a massive metal wall that must be over 10 feet tall. I can't see the course. Damien walks on top of it as he gives the instructions for this run. I have checked to ensure the devices that can kill are deactivated. Thomas will be responsible for the forfeit if one comes on, since this is your maze. If you have anything like that set up, I suggest it is taken care of right now. Glaring down at him. 0. He shakes his head. My slaves have made sure they are all turned off. If not, they will be handled accordingly with punishment. Dawn waves, letting me know that she hears switches close to where she is standing. On the other side, Summer was listening to see if she could pick up on anything. Walking over to her, that must have been a code, because right behind this wall was someone hitting buttons, pointing to a section as she whispers to us. When they go in, we will see if there is any way to make sure that he does not cheat again, taking her hand in mine and squeezing it. The first one out the other side will be the winner. On your marks, get set, go. He drops his hands. Ooh. Both take off as the door slams shut, preventing us from seeing anything happening. Motioning for Summer to come over to us, she and Dawn run their hands along the wall, finding a slight separation. Summer sniffs, giving me a thumbs up, letting me know she smells a human behind the door. They both pull hard as the door swings open, exposing a massive room with many screens and the biggest switchboard I have ever seen. 5 people in the room turn around, freezing when they see us walk in. Oh, glaring at them. What are you doing? They look back at the screens and over at us, swallowing hard. King Thomas told us we had to do it. When the prince passes one of these areas here, we were supposed to make it look like the equipment malfunctioned, they say, pointing to different screens and waiting for them to appear. I walk over to them, tapping their shoulders. I suggest you don't do that unless your master wants to lose. They tremble. You don't understand. King Thomas will put us in the dungeon with Alan. We don't want to be tortured like that. All 3 of us look at each other smiling. How about this? They can be activated but a little too late. We will operate the board if you tell us what to push. But they all look at each other while Summer closes the door. 0. I will not let anything happen to you. If we have to send you to Justin's kingdom, I will. This way, when he opens the door to fuss you out, he will find us. I quickly add, nodding to the chairs and pointing at all 3 of us. 0. They slowly get up, moving out of the way, standing behind us, and telling us which switch or button to throw. As they pass the areas, Thomas ensures that Justin is always on the correct side for the blow to hit. We hit the controls a little late, making them come out after they passed. I can see the scowl on his face as his eyes flick to the cameras with a hateful look. Thomas makes it out barely before Justin as we slam the door down behind them, dismissing the 5 people, telling them to hurry, packing their things, and a call for safe passage for them and their families at the palace. As we figured, the door is ripped open after everyone is gone. He stands there, fuming, but drops his jaw, seeing the 3 of us sitting at the board. 0, standing up, glaring at him. I told you that if you tried to cheat, I would find out. Your plans will stop before I expose your actions. He rolls his eyes. How are you going to do that? You are sitting at the controls, not my people. 0, waving my phone at him, I said, those who were here before we removed them are safely going to our kingdom to escape your punishments. They and the guards I talked to will testify that you were behind this, along with the footage downloaded into our phones and where we sent it to others if needed to show it. His face screws up into an awful expression as he takes off quickly. Damien walks in shortly after looking at me. That went as planned, huh? Ew. Smiling at him. Yes, he is just digging his hole bigger. I hope you will sock it to him in the battle of wits. Justin comes in right behind him. He probably will, but the thing is, we want him to know that he is getting caught at every turn he tries to cheat at. Reaching up to my neck, where he had his fangs this morning. He was attempting to turn me this morning. If the servant had not knocked, he might have succeeded. Justin jerks back, but Damien laughs hard. Trust me, he will not be able to do that. I put an enchantment on him where he would get a huge headache if he tried to bite you. But if that bastard continued, the pain would get excruciating, so he could not go through with it. 0. Justin smiles, looking at us. Come, we need to get lunch so you can be filled in on our little plan to bring him down once and for all, taking my hand in his. As we walk back, they fill me in on all the details of how Justin has thrown the last two on purpose, letting him win. Thomas poisoned his glass, but it did not affect him. He put on a show, making it look like the drug did. He had switched glasses to drink out of a clean one, but returned the poisoned one to the stump with a sleight of hand. They want to get to the tiebreaker, because their plan will unfold there, where his life will be in Justin's hands. After lunch, Thomas takes me out to the massive field they decided to use instead of the courtyard for the sword fight. There is a small box beside the ring that he leads me up to, while helping me sit in the giant chair that is fit for a king. He kisses my cheek again as Summer and Dawn sit in the box with me. Both men step into the ring with a sword that looks like something out of medieval times. Scanning them, neither have any armor, on which tells me they will draw blood. Damien sits down on my right, nodding to the men so they can start. The blades start moving so fast that my eyes can't track them. Silver blurs as the men lunge at each other, and I see Justin's arm get sliced open, making me gasp. Justin thrusts at Thomas, cutting his chest across the stomach. Both have blood pouring from their wounds for a short time before they heal. They each return blow after blow, repeatedly, cutting legs, arms, backs, or chest. Justin has made more and more cuts the longer they go, making Thomas weaker with each slice. They have been at this for over an hour. He has 4 open wounds right now, leaking blood as he is getting slower on healing. Thomas goes down to his knees, looking up at Justin, as my baby makes another slice down his good arm holding the blade. Dropping it, Thomas goes down on his hands, breathing heavily. 0. Damien stands up. That will be the match. Justin still stands, while Thomas goes down, dropping his sword and saying he has yielded to his opponent. It is time to retire for the night at your chosen palace. Come morning will be the final 2 events, and both kingdoms will see who will come out on top. Both men are tired now, so the best man may win tomorrow. Justin stumbles out of the ring as I run up to him, holding his weight up. He smiles at me with a wink as I try to hide a smile at his acting skills. We get into his car, heading home for the night, so he can heal and get the blood he desperately needs to regain his strength. After a good night's sleep in my room, cuddling up with Justin, he gets out of bed when I wake up. His broad shoulders move under his shirt, flexing as he pushes up from the bed. I am licking my lips without realizing what my body is doing until he turns around, making eye contact. His eyes light up. See something you like, love. 0. My cheeks flush up at the heat in his eyes. I don't know. It is hard to tell what that body looks like when it is covered like it is right now. He sits back on the bed, pushing my hair out of my face. Trust me, you will see it without clothes very soon. He taps his finger on his cheek while looking up at the ceiling. I would say by nightfall tonight. He lunges for me, pinning me down gently to the bed. Is that a dare or a promise? Raising my eyebrow. He covers my body with his, making my entire body light up like it is on fire as his husky voice whispers in my ear, I can tell you that it is a promise. You will be mine. Before this night ends, he grinds his hips into me, drawing a small moan out of my mouth. I wish it was night already. My breath picks up while his mouth explores my jaw, down to my neck, to the pulse point. His fangs slowly drag over it, and my entire body shivers, making his lips lock down, sucking on it. His tongue licks a trail down the fast-beating pulse, and he groans a little. 0. If I don't stop, we will not make it out of this bed. To the events, he pulls back a little. I declare you the winner, by default. Problem solved, pulling him back into a heated kiss. A low rumble comes out of his chest as our kiss gets more profound, and his body starts moving on mine. He trails kisses down my chest, lifting my top with his fingers slowly as his mouth follows the path it takes. His mouth travels over to one of my breasts, while his hand finds the other. His lips lock onto my breast as his tongue swirls around my nipple, making it harder by the second. His hand cups my other, while his thumb rubs over my nipple. His mouth feels so good that a soft gasp comes out as his rumble gets louder in his chest. His free hand trails down to my shorts, pulling the band back and slipping inside. His fingers hit the target within seconds as he sucks in a breath. So wet for me, so beautiful. He looks up with solid red eyes. 0. My legs fall open as his finger dips into my center, while his thumb circles my clit slowly. He returns to my neck, kissing it as his fingers pick up their pace, having me on edge faster than I have ever been there. Before I know it, he whispers, Hold on, love. You will enjoy this. His lips lock on my neck as his hand picks up faster, pushing me over the edge and crying out when he does. I feel like my entire body is on cloud 9, floating around with all the other fluffy clouds in the sky. As my body slowly comes back down, he watches my face with a smirk. That is a promise of what is to come this evening. Come, we need to get up so breakfast is not missed. Justin pulls his hand out of my pajamas, making my body shiver as a coldness comes over it. Ew. He rolls out of bed, going to move towards the bathroom, as my hand comes out grabbing his. Can I return the favor? Nodding to his manhood that is jutting out of his sweatpants. Ew. He chuckles, but shakes his head. No, love. That will push me over the edge to do what I have to wait for. You do that. I will have you marked before I climax. It was hard enough not to do it a few minutes ago. Pulling him back towards me, he lays back down as I prop up on my elbow. I know that has to be hard for you to wait like that. Zero. He nods. Every night it has been tough not to pin you down, marking you as mine. Your scent, along with everything that my body craves, has to be pushed back to control myself. Zero. My hand brushes over his manhood gently, making him suck in a deep breath as it jumps. I know it will help if you don't have to worry about that. My hand wraps around it, starting to pump slowly. Zero. A growl comes out of him, grabbing my hand. Don't, please. I will lose control, Sky. I mean it. Zero. Pouting a little, he quickly gets up and enters the bathroom as the shower comes on. A low shriek comes out of his mouth, letting me know it must be a freezing shower he has stepped into. Crawling out of bed, I pad to the closet, pulling out pants and a shirt for the day, because we will be at the battlefield for the rest. A massive picnic will be served there from both castles for lunch, while each of them will have their tent to rest in. Justin told me that the first round would not require showers, since their minds would be against Damien's. I still have not figured out what that is about. So slipping out of the room, I head down the stairs. Damien rounds the corner as I hit the bottom step, and Chance steps behind me. Rushing up to him, "Can I have a moment, please?" Zero. He nods, holding his arm out. "Of course, if you accept, I will escort you to breakfast." Zero. Taking his arm, we start that way. I have to know what is this wit battle that will happen here shortly. We will not be able to see what is going on, correct? He looks down at me, holding his palm up and snapping his fingers. An image of myself playing at a sand pile comes up. I watch as the girl fills up a castle mold, ensuring it is full and smooth before dumping it as it completes the castle I am working on. I can pull anything I want out of your mind, but you can see it. There will be a projection screen for all to see, so they will not be able to say that one was tortured more than the other. We sit at the table as Justin comes in with water sparkling off his hair. Making his way over to the table, he sits with us, digging into the plate as it arrives. We all get into cars returning to the battlefield, halfway between both places. Getting out, Thomas is standing there, waiting for all of us to arrive. He smirked as he saw me get out of the car. "Missed you last night, sweetheart." I wanted to sleep in my bed for a change. Thank you for the invitation to stay at your place, giving the slimy bastard a small smile. Damien walks around his car, nodding towards two giant wooden chairs on a platform. "Justin, would you like to go first?" Zero. Justin drops my hand, kissing my cheek gently. "Sure," he said, as he walked onto the wooden decking and sat down. "Your bracelet will come off after this event is complete. You won't use your powers to block my attacks as we go through this. Your mind will have to fight against anything I come up with." Zero. Looking up at the giant screen behind Justin, they put some device on Damien, that looks like a wristband connected to the screen. They stare into each other's eyes for a short time before what looks like a dark cave comes onto the screen. Justin walks through it, holding a torch and looking around for the attack. Growls are heard from within the cave, but nothing is seen. Thomas plops beside me in the empty chair, taking my hand in his before I realize what happened, leaning over and whispering in my ear. Let's see what he has in store for him. I am curious about this. Justin goes further down as the sounds become louder. He rounds a corner, facing a giant purple dragon, walking back and forth, looking into a cage. He looks around and closes his eyes, making a sword appear made of solid gold. He slowly creeps up on the creature, but a rock appears at the last second, making him stumble over it, where the dragon whips